Yep, it's that time of year again, where I'm going to be controversial to get some cheap views. Hey there guys, I'm Will, and welcome to FP1, and it's official. Nyck de Vries will partner Yuki Tsunoda at Alpha Tauri in 2023, giving the Dutchies an alternative to Sid from Ice Age and causing the sales of car booster seats to skyrocket. De Vries seemed to have signed his F1 chances goodbye when he opted to race in Formula E a few years ago. But after his debut in Monza earlier this season, he was thrust right back into the limelight. And yet despite this, I'm just not excited. It doesn't tickle my fancy. I'm just not turned on. This is just fucking weird, isn't it? Let's get myself some new haters then. Before we jump into the meat of today's video, I want to give a big shout out to its sponsor, Manscaped, the premium global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. The guys over there were kind enough to send me their Performance Package 4.0 to try out, which is an all-in-one men's grooming kit for body hair removal from head to toe. First off, we've got the Lawnmower 4.0, which is a waterproof and cordless trimmer that can be used anywhere on your body. Yeah, if you have an awful beard like I used to have, this one device can trim all the hair from there, all the way down to your nether regions. It also has easily replaceable ceramic blades with skin-safe technology, which really helps reduce nicks and cuts. And the Lawnmower's 7,000 RPM motor and LED spotlights come in clutch when you're in need of a more precise shave. The trimmer is super helpful on the move as well, with its wireless charging and travel lock features. Its great battery will also give you 90 minutes and just a single charge. But that's not all in the performance package, as Manscaped also include their Crop Preserver liquid deodorant and their Crop Reviver toner spray. Simply apply the Crop Preserver after your shower for all-day odor protection. Meanwhile, the Crop Reviver uses aloe vera and witch hazel to quickly refresh your body wherever it needs it. But there's even more, as Manscaped's Weed Whacker is the perfect nose and ear hair trimmer. Just like the Lawnmower, it's also waterproof and cordless, and includes the same skin-safe technology. So it all sounds pretty good then, right? Well, for a limited time, if you buy the Performance Package, Manscaped will throw in 2 more items completely for free. You'll get the Shed's travel bag and Manscaped's anti-chafing boxer briefs. Using the link below and the code FP1 at checkout will get you all this, plus 20% off and free shipping. And I won't lie, it also helps me out, so head down to the description and get your Performance Package today. Cheers once again to Manscaped. Now let's get on with the video. So the case for De Vries is a bit of an interesting one. The 27-year-old started out in karting in 2004, but let's be real, none of you could give a flying about that, so let's jump to his car racing career. That would start with Formula Renault 2.0 back in 2012. His debut year in the Euro Cup series was okay, finishing 5th and beating out his teammates, Pierre Gasly, who I'd like to think you should know, and Andrea Pizzitola, who you probably won't. In 2013, you'd expect the more experienced De Vries to improve, but he didn't really. Yes, he picked up his first win in the category, but it still matched his championship finishing position of 5th from the year before, as the likes of Gasly showed significant improvement as he went on to claim the title. It would take De Vries until his 3rd season to take that for himself, and in 2014 he would admittedly dominate, though the field was significantly weaker this time around. And don't expect that to be the last time you hear this trend. De Vries would use his experience in the category to claim the Formula Renault 2.0 title that year as well, in what was a far more competitive running order. Charles Leclerc having to settle for 2nd best against the Dutch driver, the to-be Ferrari man clearly preparing for F1 in 2022. 2015 would see Nyck progress to Formula Renault 3.5, finishing 3rd behind Oliver Rowland and Matthew Vaxi. You could argue that this was another weak field. However, the GOAT himself would only manage to finish 11th here, so that argument is clearly bullshit. Anyway, moving on, and it would be a move to GP3 for 2016, where De Vries would end the year 6th in the standings. Not bad for a first attempt, however the Dutchman would struggle compared to his ART teammates, Leclerc and Alex Albon going on to battle for the championship. All three would earn themselves a promotion to the inaugural season of Formula 2 in 2017, and while Leclerc would flourish, Albon and De Vries would find things more difficult. Nyck would take the sprint race win at Monaco, but would only find himself 7th in the standings at the end of the year. But I should point out that his season was disrupted by a team change from Rapax to Racing Engineering. Thankfully, this wouldn't be the case for 2018, with De Vries signing with Prema, who were like the F2 equivalent of Ferrari, minus the strategy blunders and all-around shithousery. In other words, Ferrari, but good. Or at least they should have been. You see, despite having just dominated the series with Leclerc, De Vries and Prema just wouldn't be consistent enough in 2018, never at any point looking like they were in the hunt for the driver's title. They would fall to 5th in the Constructors that year, though I have a feeling that might have had something to do with the chicken wing they placed in the second car. De Vries would escape the Colonel by signing with the championship-winning team for his 2nd year in a row in 2019, joining ART. Here, Nyck would finally get his chance in the spotlight, as he took the F2 title following a hard battle with early frontrunner Nicholas Latifi. Can you see my problem yet? Once again, De Vries had managed to claim the title, but just like his time in Formula Renault, it would come against arguably one of the weakest grids in F2's history, and his performances weren't catching the eye of anyone in Formula 1 either, Latifi being the candidate snatched up for the second Williams seat. And we all know how that went. So why was the Dutchman passed up on? Well, maybe it was something to do with how long he spent on each step of the Junior Series ladder. If we look at the likes of Oscar Piastri or Yuki Tsunoda, we'll see that they've rarely spent more than 1 year in each category before the competency of their young driver program determined whether they got a Formula 1 seat. Or not. Of course, that's not always the case. I mean, look at Latifi, for example. But you see, he has money, so that's okay. De Vries would be forced to compete in WEC and Formula E between 2020 and 2022, and while he saw little success in the former, he would clinch the FE title in his second season with Mercedes. But with Formula E still housing failed F2 talent and ex-F1 drivers battling dementia, again we've got to raise questions over how competitive that field was compared to what Nyck will go against in F1. And I get that this will be controversial, and I can see many people writing their angry comments already, but this was the year where even Norman Nato managed to win a race. I don't think I need to say much more on that one. De Vries' attempts to defend his title started strong in 2022 with a win in the opening round at Saudi Arabia, but fell away from there, ending the year 9th as his teammate Stoffel van Dorn went on to score twice as many points and take the championship. So no one was really looking at Nyck for a race seat in 2023 then. That was until Alex Albon was ruled out of the Italian Grand Prix at Monza and De Vries happened to be about that weekend with Aston Martin. Now before I go on, I want to make it really clear that I think what the Dutchman managed to do that weekend was outright incredible. Jump into a new car, score points on debut, beat Latifi. Well, the first two are commendable at least. But I am going to be a dick here and point out that Monza is arguably one of the easiest circuits to sub in for. You're full throttle for most of the lap, and with only 4 real heavy braking zones, it's not the most challenging of tracks on the 2022 calendar. Now again, I don't want to make it sound like what De Vries did was easy. I mean, throw my fat ass into that car and I'd be in the wall at turn 1. But when you've got a lot of people praying De Vries won't have to drive in Singapore to maintain his reputation, I don't think I'm alone in this one. So to put everything I've said today together, De Vries is a solid driver, but his progression up the junior ladder was just too slow to convince me he's proper F1 material. He's very rarely shown a good level of consistency, and his championships haven't always come against a particularly representative field. Given though that this is one of my hot takes, expect the Dutchman to be world champion with Alpha Tauri in 2023. But I don't know, I'm just not seeing the hype. Anyway, those are my opinions, and now it's up to you to castrate me in the comments section below. What do you think of De Vries, and can you see a long-term future for him in Formula 1? Let me know down there and I'll try and respond to as many of you as I can. While you're ripping into me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I'm aiming to hit 60,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate you helping me out. A big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video, and to all of my patrons who support the work I do. If you want to get involved with supporting the channel, or just check out any of my other social media, the links to everything is down in the description below. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you soon with another video, but until then, have a good one.